Now it's another week to enjoy your favorite entertainment show. On eCentral, we bring you the biggest news, latest trends, and everything showbiz. Today in the news, one of Afrobeat's biggest stars has cleared the air that he's not an Afrobeat artist. I'll tell you who. On the other hand, Ira Star confirms collab with Shay Vibes ahead of her album. Still in music, Grammy-winning star Tyla has confirmed Sensation Thames on her debut album. And on the international scene, Ariana Grande hits new record with her latest album, and we'll bring you all the news and all the big winners at the 55th NAACP Image Awards. Sit back, I'll bring you all the details and all the fun. This is eCentral. I'm, of course, Sam Dandy. Now let's get into it. In a series of posts on his Instagram story, Grammy-winning singer Ayodeji Balogun, popularly known as Wizkid, had made it clear that he does not want to be categorized as an Afrobeat artist. While announcing his new album titled Morayo, Wizkid cautioned Nigerians against labeling him as such and warned bloggers against posting his new album. He further emphasized his stance by addressing different groups of fans. Wizkid discouraged those who became fans during the Kpakurumo era from downloading his new album and even suggested removing him from their playlists and lives. Additionally, he advised fans of Afrobeats not to download his album. Wow. Wizkid also took the opportunity to boast about his wealth, claiming to be richer than everyone else. This is a very interesting conversation, of course, by one of the biggest artists here in Nigeria. And this is when Afrobeats is doing its thing globally. You know what? I cannot talk about this alone. So, of course, I do have talent manager, creative entrepreneur, and all-round multifaceted creative, Diran, join us in this conversation. Good to have you on the show.
Hi, it's good to be here.
What do we make of this? Are you a Wizkid fan, number one? And is this just tantrum? Is this normal? Or is it because of the album? What do you think?
So I guess you could call me a fan of Afrobeat. It's consumable, if not anything. But with regards to what Wizkid had to say, I honestly think he's just throwing a tantrum. And I don't think it is right for you as an artist who has benefited from this genre and the evolution of this genre to then wake up one morning and be ungrateful for what the genre has done to you. Because basically that is the platform that has gotten him to where he is today. If you want to evolve sound-wise, if you want to experiment sound-wise, do it strategically and don't whine about it on social media.
I have to ask you now, because there's been a long conversation around Afrobeats itself. You know, what kind of music is it? People have asked, is Thames an Afrobeats musician? You know, how do you differentiate? Because is it one genre or are there multiple parts of it? What do you think about this?
So the unfortunate thing about Afrobeat as a term and then also a genre is the fact that with the Nigerian music industry, for a very long time, our industry was structured as mainstream, and everything that is not mainstream is alternative. What that did is that it then killed the existence of genres that, should be identified within the music industry. And by the time we now had Afrobeat as a genre, we ended up plugging everything that comes out of the Nigerian music industry as Afrobeat. So long as it is from the Nigerian music industry, automatically it's tagged as Afrobeat. However, the real issue now is that there are multiple genres across board. And just because we have one genre does not mean that everything that a Nigerian does should now be tagged Afro this and Afro that. You don't go to India and hear them saying that there's Afro R&B and Afro this, or Indian R&B or Indian pop. What we need to do now is properly segregate what genres exist, because there are global genres that a lot of our artists fall into. As much as we have Afrobeat as a staple, we now have to not only identify it but acknowledge it, but in a bid for every artist who wants to be seen as commercial, or for every music executive wanting their artist to be seen as commercial, they're quick to take on the Afro tag or the Afrobeat tag. It's suffocating the industry, and now people are trying to break out. Take Alte, for instance. Alte is not a genre. I'm sorry. The reason why Alte became a name is because the industry did not provide room for people who had that sound to identify themselves as something. And because the Nigerian music industry turned everything that is not Afrobeat as alternative, automatically for these kids to find a certain level of identity, they started calling themselves Volte. But if you listen to the bedrock of Volte, it's mostly R&B, soul, and neo soul because a lot of the people within that genre they grew up on
Ife,
90s R&B.
all right. So we're having a little problem hearing you properly. So just be a little more audible or louder, perhaps. But you said something that I like. You talked about, wanting to identify as part of a group. And that is something that, of course, Afrobeats is enjoying because now a lot of people want to be a part of, the sound that has become so global. A lot of these award shows have now included best Afrobeat and Afrobeat genres into their, in fact, categories into their awards, I beg your pardon. What do you think? Do you think this will have any effect? Since Wizkid is one of the pioneers, now that he said this, do you think people will less identify themselves or these award shows will maybe in a few years backtrack and remove the award or this categories? What do you think?
I mean, Afrobeat is here to stay. There's not much we can do about that. I think that the thing that what Burna Boy has done, and even Burna did the same thing last year. What they've done is that they're now causing a situation where they're watering down what the essence of Afrobeat actually is. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't think that the award shows in themselves have fully grasped the meaning of Afrobeat or what is properly termed as Afrobeat. And as much as they've made room for the genre, unfortunately, what it has also done is that they have lugged everybody African into that category. So it will, with time, I think that with a little bit more education and with people truly owning what sound they belong to, it might help to redefine what the Afrobeat category means in the award space. But for now, I honestly, we can only just hope for the best and hope that our pioneers will, put a plug on their emotions and handle things like adults. No offense.
Now, a lot of people will credit, of course, the Afrobeats genre, and as a pioneer, the Kutis, right? But we've also seen, the different parts of it. In fact, Rema, is known to call his music Afro rave. In fact, we've had Afro fusion, and maybe we're going to get more. I don't know. I've not heard any Afro alter yet. But should we accept these different subcategories, and how can we actually can I start music and say, you know what, I'm Afro dandy, perhaps, and it's my type of music. Is this encouraged or should it not be?
To be honest, I don't think it should be encouraged because, again, Afrobeat, for me personally, as a term, is the laziest term we could ever have given to what we classify as mainstream Nigerian pop music. And it is in no way similar to what Afrobeat by Fela actually is. They're two completely different things and stuff. But you see, coming up with Afrofusion and Afro pop and Afro this, first of all, you automatically water down the existence of the fact that there are genres that a lot of people already fall into. Just last week, I saw a tweet where they said if Daniel does Afro R&B, he has an Afro R&B feel. I'm like, sorry, R&B is R&B. If it has African influences or Nigerian influences, it's as a result of where the artist is from. It doesn't make it Afro. It just makes it R&B. So Afro rave, Afro this, Afro that. Honestly, I think it's detrimental to the structure of what our sonic sounds are meant to be identified as. The only genres that, honestly, I think have the right to be set apart are our indigenous genres because they are culturally relevant to a space or a place that you come from. For instance, Fuji, Waka, Highlife, and things like that, which are not necessarily international genres, but they're exportable genres. So I don't think this Afro everything is the way forward because what we are doing is we are encouraging the world to see Africa as a country and not a continent.
Ife, I'm enjoying this conversation. I'm going to have to let you go, but let me ask this, right? Rema had once said in an award show about how it's important to establish something. Now that Afrobeats is blowing up, there should be some substance, not just the music, perhaps. How do you think maybe the government can get involved? Where do you see this becoming more than just a movement that we're afraid might fade away in a few years?
I mean, first things first, the biggest issue that we need to solve is the fact that we constantly seek global validation. At home, we first of all need to have a certain sense of acceptance and ownership of what is ours. And I don't think, as much as the government can support the creative industry, the government first has to even understand the language of what that means, what this music industry actually is. With regards to, how to ensure that Afrobeat outlives the trend, it's really again about establishing. We know what Afrobeat is. We now have to make room for what Afrobeat can become. Unfortunately, we're keeping the development at the top, and it's not trickling down enough for us to have a bigger community of what Afrobeat artists should look like and what Afrobeat artists can evolve into. So we're at the mercy of the top four or the top five when you have a plethora of Afrobeat artists everywhere that can continue to carry on the movement, so to speak. So the industry in itself has to be willing to take more risks. And the industry in itself has to be open to the structure that is required for sustainability. It is at a point where that structure exists, the government in itself can then get involved because there is a starting point.
All right, I must confess, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, Ife. Hopefully we can have you some other time, of course, on the growth of Afrobeats and the future. I do appreciate you for being a part of East Central. Thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
All right, at this point, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Ira Star has dropped, well, not dropped, I wish. She's teased her new album, and in fact, Shay Vibes is going to be on it. I'm going to give you all the details right here on East Central. Please stay with us. Now, thank you for staying with us. You're still watching East Central. Now, Ira Star recently shared on her Instagram story that her upcoming sophomore album is 80% complete. Now, she excitedly mentioned that Shay Vibes had just sent in his verse for their collaboration, and she was seen vibing and dancing to the upcoming single in this video. Ira confirmed that the new album is scheduled to be released in May this year, responding to a fan's question on Twitter with the exciting news that it will arrive in 2 months. Let's listen to this. I can't wait for the project, but you know what? Her latest single, Commas, released in February, reached #1 spot on Apple Music's Nigeria's Top 100 song charts. Furthermore, Ira is gearing up to join Chris Brown on tour. As part of Chris Brown's highly anticipated 11/11 tour, Ira will be performing in 8 cities, including Detroit, Chicago, Columbus, Newark, Belmont Park, Brooklyn, Montreal, and Toronto. Now, Chris Brown himself announced the tour on social media, revealing that both Ira and Mooney Long will be joining him on stage. Now, this is big for her. It's big for us as Afrobeats, supporters and fans all across the globe. But Commas, oh my goodness, that already has over 10 million views on YouTube alone, and it's not even the original video. We're looking forward to seeing more music and her success on the tour. Still on music, Nigerian singer Solid Star, known for hits like Omotena, has opened up about his struggles with drug addiction, revealing that he was introduced to the substance known as ice by some young boys in 2021. In a snippet of the most recent episode of the Honest Bunch podcast, Solid Star shared the devastating effect that the hard substance had on him. Let's listen to this.
Things happened to me. Young boys, they're going to introduce me to this substance. God.
What's be the name?
Ouch.
Wow.
Which year was this?
This was 3 years back. 3 years back.
That's 2021.
Yeah, 3 years back.
Okay.
So this thing really, it do bad. As in, it affects me a lot.
Okay.
So this substance now, sometimes single time say you are a king, you are a this, like that. Go tell me say I don't be king. Make I know they pay for stuff. Can you imagine say I walk out from Abuja to Oriental Hotel?
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. But ice, also known as crystal methamphetamine, is a stimulant drug that speeds up the messages traveling between the brain and the body. Now, the singer admitted that the substance had a terrible effect on him, causing significant distress and impacting his behavior. Now, videos surfaced online in August 2023 showing Solid Star looking, well, disheveled and walking aimlessly on the street, prompting concerns about his well-being. His brother, Joseph, revealed in a post accompanying the video that Solid Star was addicted to drugs and was suffering adverse effects as a result. Now, this is not the first time Solid Star has faced challenges with drug addiction. In 2019, he recounted how he nearly died from bleeding after overdosing on drugs, highlighting the seriousness of his struggle with substance abuse. Now, Solid Star candid revelations shed light on the dangers of drug addiction and the importance of seeking help and support to overcome such challenges. Now, we do appreciate him speaking up, and we're happy he's in better condition. But if you're out there, remember to stay away from drugs. And if perhaps you're dabbled into it, please seek help. Still on music, South African pop star Tyla is set to drop her highly anticipated debut album this Friday, March the 22nd. Now, Tyla has gathered a star-studded lineup for the album. I'm talking Becky G, there's Nigeria's Thames, there's Ghana, there's Skilly Bang, Kelvin Momo, and even Travis Scott. Now, with such an impressive array of collaborators, the album promises to set the music scene on fire, as reported by Rolling Stone. Tyla took to Instagram to share the excitement, unveiling the full track list in a visually captivating post that left fans buzzing with anticipation. Accompanied by a handwritten track list, the post hints at surprises in store, with a few songs tentatively crossed out, now teasing the possibility of a deluxe edition. Among the 14 tracks featured on the album is the viral sensation Water, which propelled Tyla to international fame and earned her a prestigious Grammy Award for Best African Music Performance. With such a stellar lineup and infectious track, Tyla's debut album is sure to make waves in the music industry. I'm looking forward to that one dropping. Her songs are good, and we see the growth, okay? We see the growth. Let's move from music now to film. This one's not so good. Nollywood veteran Amechi Munago, renowned for his exceptional contribution to the Nigerian film industry, is currently facing health challenges and is seeking assistance from the public to cover his medical expenses. At 61-year-old, he has been a prominent figure in Nollywood for decades, showcasing his talent in numerous acclaimed movies and TV series. However, Munago's health has recently deteriorated, necessitating urgent medical intervention. Recognized and cherished by fans for his memorable performances, he now requires their support during this difficult period. In a heartfelt appeal, he expressed gratitude for the love and support he has received from fans and colleagues. And let's watch this.
It will be with mama.
Now, this is difficult for fans, of course, of Amechi, and we hope that, like we've done in the past, people can gather around and help. In some form, we want to see him back on his feet, all right? Of course, our hearts go out to his family, and we do hope for a speedy recovery. We can't come to an end on East Central without bringing to you celeb socials, of course. All that your faves have posted, of course, on their platforms over the past few days. Let's watch this.
Come on. Come on.
I'm choked and dating, but I trip for you pieces like one kinky. If anything I can do, oh baby, let me know, make I run to. Be calling you Putu, cause I don't wanna leave you single. I wish I met you sooner. I feel no day with Buddha. I wish I met you before my heart goes confirm.
Now tell me that wasn't fun. I must say a big congratulations to Ariana Grande on her 6th #1 album, and of course to Thames for bagging her recent NAACP awards, along with Chris Brown and Davido and Lil J. All right, shout out to everyone out there. All right, we're gonna have to wrap it up right here in East Central for today, but don't forget we'll be back tomorrow, same time, 4:30 p.m. to bring you more of the biggest stories in entertainment. My name is Sam Dandy. This is bye for now.